Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. I am super excited. We have a new week starting, and y'all listen, we have a lot of inside day candles, meaning tomorrow's inside day candles. And let me go ahead and give my disclaimer, y'all. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth, and the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, y'all, let's get started. So these are inside day candles for tomorrow, May 28th. And I talk about inside day candles a lot, and a lot of people may not understand what that means. And I'm going to try to explain it, right? So we're looking at the daily chart for Apple. And once we look at the current day's close, meaning this was Friday's close, 524. And the high of this candle was 190.58. The low of the candle was 188.04. Well, the day before that, the previous day's close, the high of the candle was 191 and the low of the candle was 186.63. So this outside candle fits inside the previous day candle. That's why we call it an inside day candle. And it normally gives us a price target, meaning, if it breaks above this or below this, this is the possible target, right? So with Apple, the high of this candle again is 190.58. If it breaks the 190.58, then the target to the upside is 191. To the downside, if it breaks 188.04, then the target to the downside is 186.63. And there are many, you can get a script depending on your platform that you're using that would actually point this out for you to let you know if it's an inside day candle. So when I look at my charts, I know when I go to that strat method, it lets me know that this would be a number one on the outside. So I will mark this as my inside day candle. So that's something to be mindful of depending on your platform. So let's go into the inside day candles that we have for tomorrow. 528 Amazon is an inside day candle. I'll give the trigger for that, 182.44. If we break above 182.44, then the target to the upside is 184.67. Now to the downside, if it breaks under the 180.28, the target to the downside is here at 180.01. Keep in mind, Amazon normally moves $3.27 per day. We have found support right here at this 50 EMA, so it could go in either direction because the 5 EMA right now is our resistance at 182.20, so that's something to be mindful of. Bank of America, or BAC, is an inside day candle. So if it breaks above $39.78, the target to the upside is $39.84. If it breaks below 39.07, then the target to the downside is 39.96. And keep in mind, it only moves 64 cents per day. It is under the 5 EMA, so again, we can go in either direction. It could continue to the upside or to the downside. So if I traded Bank of America, I would say trade carefully, right? So CCL, Carnival Cruise Line, is an inside day candle for tomorrow. And if it breaks above $15.14, then $15.74 is the target. If it breaks under $14.81, then $14.77 is the target to the downside. And again, it moves 48 cents per day. We are under the 5 EMA, the 50 EMA, and slightly above the 200 EMA. So that's interesting. But I always say, y'all, trade carefully, right? So Carvana is an inside week candle. That means this is the target for the week. It moves $5.80 per day. Keep in mind that if it breaks above 124.58, then 129 is the inside week target, the weekly target. To the downside, if we're under the 115.53, which we are, no, I think I put this one on because we met this target. So let me rephrase that. Carvana is not an inside week. I added this one because when we go in and mark these levels, it kind of gives us an idea, and Carvana actually met the target to the downside. It actually broke under that. So when it broke under the 115.53, it actually broke through the 112.72 target, came down and found support right here around the 20 EMA at 109.22. So that's why it's important that we mark the inside day and the inside week candles, because it's really helpful for us. So that was the reason for adding Carvana. CVS is an inside day candle. If CVS breaks above 56.82, then the target is 59.62. To the downside, if it breaks under 55.49, then the downside target is 55.52, which is really, really close, right? And it only moves $1.34 per day. We are under the 5 EMA, so that 56.33 is going to be a trouble place for us. If I traded CVS, I would watch those levels. So Disney is also an inside day candle. Above 102.10 gives us a target of 103.03. If it breaks under $100.68, it gives us a target of $100.27. And Disney normally runs about $2.40 per day. We are under the 200-day EMA and the 5 EMA on the daily chart. So I would say definitely be careful. It looks like we broke out of a gathering spot here to the downside. So if I traded Disney, I would say trade carefully, right? So Google, G-O-O-G, Alphabet is an inside day candle for us to, and if it breaks above 177.26, then the 179.88 is the target. Below 175.02 gives us a target here of, let's see, 174.58. And Google normally moves $3.04 per day. Keep in mind, we are under the 5 EMA, which is under that 176.52. So I would definitely watch those levels. If I traded Disney, our next level of support, looking at it on this daily chart, is around the 172.15. Trade carefully. So Google, G-O-O-G-L, is also an inside day candle. Above 175.72 gives us a target of 178.14. Under or below 173.68 gives us a target of 172.97. And Google, G-O-O-G-L, normally moves $3.06 per day. It too is under the 5 EMA. So I would say trade carefully. IWM is an inside day candle, and if we break above 205.66, then the target to the upside is 207.58. Below 203.95, then the target is 202.38. And IWM moves $2.39 per day. And we are under the 5 EMA. It looks like it's finding support right here at the 20 EMA, looking at it on this daily chart at 204.69. So I would say definitely trade carefully if I traded IWM. Meta is an inside week for us. So if Meta breaks above, let's say, if it breaks above 479.41, above the 479, let me make sure I'm getting this part right. Inside week, if we break above 479.87, then the target to the upside is 483.18. If we break below 461.26, then the weekly target is 460.36. So I would say if I traded Meta, be very careful above those levels or below those levels. Again, Meta normally moves about $10.03 per day. Trade carefully. Plug Power is one that was really, really close. So it is an inside day, $3.31. Above that gives us a target of $3.41. And below $3.10 gives us a target here of $3.06, which is not a lot considering it only moves 42 cents per day. I would say trade carefully. So PayPal is an inside day candle. If it breaks above 62.05, then the target is 62.67 to the upside. Below that, if it breaks below 61.27, then the target to the downside is going to be 61.21. PayPal normally moves at about $1.40 per day, and it looks like it was declining, and this may be our gathering spot that it's trying to create right here. I would just say if I traded PayPal, trade carefully, right? So QQQ is also an inside day candle. Above 459.23 gives a target of 460.58. Below 453.51 gives a target of 451.85. It moves normally $4.15 per day. Looks like we're finding support on this 5 EMA right here at 455.10. So I would definitely, if I traded the QQQ, I would definitely be careful with that. Roblox, RBLX, is an inside week. and it moves about $1.83 per day. But again, the weekly target is above $33.51 gives a target of $33.71. Below $31.61 gives us a target of $30.84. Again, we are under the slightly at the 5 EMA. So right now it seems like the 5 EMA is resistance for us at 32.66. I would definitely watch that area. It closed at 32.67. So if I traded roadblocks, I would definitely mark those alerts and mark those levels. And again, not financial advice. So, and Charles Schwab or SCHW, if it breaks above 73.06, then the target is 74.72 to the upside. Now, if it breaks to the downside, 72.16, below that gives us a target of 71.68. And it is under the 50 EMA on this daily chart, and it normally moves about $1.77 per day. So if I traded swap, I would just know that, we're going to have trouble at the 73.38 area getting above that. It needs to get above that and close above that in order for us to reach this 74.72 level. Again, trade carefully. So SMCI is an inside day candle above 898.55 gives us a target of 972.16. Below 839 gives us a target of 836.52. It moves $63.11 per day. That is interesting. So I would say if I traded SMCI, trade carefully and watch those levels, and I would definitely set my alerts above and below that area. It seems like we're finding support here at the 5 EMA on the daily chart at 876.08, and it closed at 883.30, 883.80. So I would definitely watch those levels. SoFi is an inside day candle. Above $7 gives us a target of 706. Below $6.87 gives us a target of 6.77. SoFi normally moves 24 cents per day, and we are under the 5 EMA. As you can see, we came and tested that, got rejected, and came back down. So I would say if I traded SoFi, trade carefully, definitely mark those levels. And Sound, SOUN, is an inside day candle. Above 509 gives us a target of 521. Below 493 gives us a target of 486. It too is under the 5 EMA. We tested that, looks like it got rejected. And yeah, I would say watch carefully at this 486 area because we have tested it once. It very well come down and continue down. I say carefully, trade carefully, right? That's something to be mindful of. SPX is an inside day candle, and above 53.11.22 gives us a target of 53.40.83. Below 52.79.63 gives us a target of 52.57.39. That's a lot of numbers, right? So I would say watch those levels. We are right at the 5 EMA, close at 53.04.72. So we're kind of right there at the 5 EMA, So I would say watch if I traded SPX, I would definitely watch those levels. What I normally do is set my alert above this. It needs to break above this and close above that level. And to the downside, again, it needs to break below that or close and close below that. Not just test it. It needs to, the next few candles need to be under that in order for me to have confirmation. I always say, y'all, wait on confirmations before you enter your trades. Not just it tested that level. It could test that level, get rejected, find support, and bounce. So you have to be very, very careful with that. This SPY chart is really interesting to see. I kind of left some gray areas so I can remember that as support and resistance. However, if SPY breaks above 530.24, then the target to the upside is here at 533.07. To the downside, if it breaks under the 526.84, then to the downside, 524.66 is our target. And SPY normally moves $3.62 per day. I'm not sure if I gave how much SPX normally moves per day. SPX normally moves $35.88, and SPY normally moves on average, and that's just the ATR, $3.62 per day. So if I traded SPX or the SPY, I would definitely mark those levels and set my alerts and wait patiently until you have confirmation. Let me say that again, not financial advice. So I am right now we're looking at SQQQ. $9.82 above that gives us $9.99. Below $9.49 gives us a target of $9.43, and SQQQ moves to 28 cents per day. We are under the 5 EMA, so that's something to be mindful of, right? So I would say if you trade the Qs, SQQQ or the QQQ, that's interesting to keep saying that, right? So I would say trade carefully. And y'all, those are Tesla is an inside day and an inside week. So I would say, trade carefully. If Tesla breaks above 179.99, the target to the upside 181.84. Below 173.83 gives us a target here of 173.16. That's for the day. Now for the week, if Tesla breaks above 180, then our weekly target is 187.56. If Tesla breaks below if it breaks below 169, then our weekly target is down here at 167.91. So I would definitely watch those areas for Tesla, because again, it could move in either direction. Tesla is Tesla. It does what it does. Let me say that. So y'all, I hope this video is very, very helpful. I say mark your levels and make sure you have confirmations as to why you're entering your trade, and when it goes against your why, please get out. It's you want to live to trade another day, or have your stop losses. Pay attention to your charts. I say that often. So again, I hope these videos are very, very helpful. I am super, super excited. I hope that everyone have a very, very prosperous week, a very productive week. And yeah, let's go make some money, right? Let's make a lot of money. Let's say that, but we have to learn and make sure that we understand what we're doing. So y'all, I like to always leave you with this: be blessed as well as a blessing unto others. Until next time.